Bears now, mailbag time. I'm Harrison Graham. Ryan Poles hater in the chat saying, should Chicago bring back Khalil Mack in free agency? Interesting question. He is a free agent. I think he's going to be 33, so certainly not in his peak prime. Although he did have 17 sacks 2 seasons ago, 2023. This is the numbers he's put up since he's left the Bears. 25 plus 6, 31 sacks in 3 years, one really great season, 2 solid years, I would say. I wouldn't mind it on a 1 or 2 year deal. Like, could you get him like 2 years, 30 million, 15 a year on a short-term contract? Put him opposite of Montez Sweat. Maybe you draft a young pass rusher in the early middle rounds or something like that. Certainly wouldn't be opposed. Would he want to come back here? I don't know. Could depend on the scheme, certainly. But I still think Khalil Mack's a good player. There's, minor injury concerns there given his age. But I wouldn't be opposed for the right price. Like, if you told me Keenan Allen, Khalil Mack, similar price tag, who would you pick? I'd probably pick Khalil Mack because you need more pass rush there. So what say you? Would you bring him back? Type Y for yes, type in for no. I'd be open to it if the price is right. Let us know what you guys think. Josh Baratic says, who's your number 2 back to accommodate Swift next year since Johnson can't stay healthy or be more than a goal line back? I wouldn't even necessarily view it as like a number 2. Like, I'd go like 1A, 1B. I think a few backs come to mind. Amarian Hampton out of North Carolina, Caleb Johnson out of Iowa, Ollie Gordon out of Oklahoma State. I think all those guys will probably go like in the 3rd-ish round. I'd be comfortable taking it back there. I know people might say, oh, you got bigger needs there. That's probably true. But if you fill enough of those in free agency in the first couple of rounds, I do think if you draft a plug-and-play downhill runner, that's not just like a check the box, like he can play, but he doesn't have special traits. All 3 of those guys are physical specimens that can run between the tackles and are pretty explosive. So if you could get one of those guys, pair him with Swift, and it's kind of a 1-2 punch, I think that's pretty ideal. William Bomer, Abdul Carter, or Will Campbell, who are you picking in the first round? I think Carter's a better prospect, to be honest with you. I want to see what their combines look like. Like, how long are Will Campbell's arms? Is he going to play left tackle? Do you kick him inside to play guard? Some scouts think, his arm length is going to be on that fringe in terms of that 33-inch mark. That's typically kind of the baseline for what tackles are in the NFL. There are exceptions. Caleb McGarry, Rashawn Slater, a couple others. But I thought Campbell was better last year than he was this year, but still a really good player. O-line, bigger need. Carter, better prospect. Let's see how the pre-draft process goes. I'd say it's pretty close. All right, Zbiotics is going to be your best friend this holiday season. Let me explain. Get 15% off at zbiotics.com/chatsports. I don't drink as much as I used to since I'm a little bit older now, but during the holidays, I like to have a drink here and there. Unfortunately, I don't bounce back like I used to the next day, but that all changed when I found Zbiotics Pre-Alcohol. Pre-Alcohol is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in your gut. It's this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next day. Pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. Just remember to drink this probiotic before drinking alcohol. Drink responsibly. Get a good night's sleep to feel your best tomorrow. Starting with Thanksgiving all the way now until the New Year celebrations. This holiday season is packed with events, but don't let the festivities leave you feeling less than merry. Zbiotics Pre-Alcoholic Probiotic can help you save the night and seize the next day. So get started today. Go to zbiotics.com/chatsports. That's zbiotics.com/chatsports. Code chatsports to get 15% off your first order. You can also scan the QR code on screen right there. You can also sign up for a subscription using our code chatsports so you can stay prepared no matter the time or occasion. Zbiotics is backed with a 100% money-back guarantee, so if you're unsatisfied for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Link in the comments and in the description. Code chatsports at zbiotics.com/chatsports. Eddie Padilla here. What happened to the scouts who were money in the 2nd to 6th under pace? I feel like since Poles has taken over, late round picks have been horrible. Well, the second round is not a late round. He's actually done a pretty good job there, I would say. Kyler Gordon, Jaquan Brisker are good players. Didn't have a second last year. Who did he take in the second 2 years ago? I'd have to go back and look. Oh, Tyreek Stevenson, Javon Dexter. I'd say Dexter's been pretty good for a second. I'm still holding out hope for Stevenson because the way he finished his rookie year and I thought started this year was pretty good, but obviously this season got off the rails. Third round's been horrible. He's actually found some decent middle round value. You got Braxton Jones in the fifth. I mean, serviceable left tackle for a fifth round pick. But yeah, certainly not enough hits there. But yeah, that was one thing Pace was good at. He found a really good value on day 3. DC Viper, if the Bears end up at 9 in the draft, does it make more sense to trade down instead of staying put? I think it all depends. Like, what does your board look like? Who's available at 9? I would say if one of Kelvin Banks and Will Campbell is gone and all the other premier trenches players, like, let's say this, Abdul Carter, Mason Graham, one of Banks and Campbell are gone when you pick at 9. I'd probably just take whichever one of those 4 was still left, if only one was left. Now, if multiple are left, could you move down a couple spots? Yeah, but I would want to get one of those premier trenches players. Now, things are going to change. Other names are going to enter the mix. I was listening to a podcast the other day that a lot of the draft discussion is pick number 6 might not be that different than pick number 15. Like, it's just not a loaded, high-end, top-of-the-draft type of draft. So unless you're in range to get Travis Hunter or Mason Graham, like, picking 12th versus 7th may not be that big of a difference. So, in that case, moving down from 9 to 13, get an extra pick, could certainly make some sense. But it all depends on who is still available when you draft. So that is what I would say. Subscribe to the channel. We got the latest Bears news and rumors on a daily basis. We're covering the coaching search, full offseason ahead with free agency and the draft and everything else in between. So do not miss out. YouTube.com/BearsNow. Let's continue to grow this thing. Cody Munson, if a needy team is willing to trade up and make it worth our while, I'm trading back in a heartbeat to get more picks. Yeah, again, like I'll say this, trading back makes way more sense than trading up. I would say that. Unless there's just some player you're absolutely in love with, like Mason Graham, you think he's a generational 3-tech, a Chris Jones type or something that you could pair with Dexter, like, okay, sure, like move up a couple spots. But other than that, if you're asking me if I'd rather trade up or back, I would definitely trade back. PD, when can we get rid of Tremaine Edmunds? They can get rid of him this offseason, but it basically saves them no money. It doesn't create a bigger cap hit, but my gut feeling is that Tremaine is back for one more year, and depending how he plays next year will determine whether or not he returns for the 4th year on his contract. Just looking at the breakdown here, if you cut him pre-June 1st, you save $4.3 million, dead cap hit of $13 million, because his cap hit right now is 17.4. So you'd save a little change. If you post June 1 cut him, you'd save 6.8, dead cap of 10.6. So even at a post June 1, you're still going to carry a $10 million plus dead cap hit. I would say, unless there's a trade partner out there, because that would save you $12.5 million, he's probably back next year. And look, he's a fine player. I definitely dog on him a good amount. That's mostly because what they paid for, they have not got. Like, he's not a $17, $18 million linebacker. That's just the reality. So we'll see what happens. My gut feeling tells me he's back one more year, probably gone the next year because he has no guaranteed money for 2026. Fill in the blank. The Bears 2025 head coach will be blank. Who's that player going to be? Drop his name in the comment section down below. Lacora Victor, is Kansas City's right guard Trey Smith a home run, or will he resign, or will Casey? Well, do you mean home run like the Bears are going to get him? No, that is not a home run. Is he a home run in terms of they should go after him if he's available? Yeah, like he'd probably be at the top of my list if he hits the open market. But I would say the Chiefs are going to try to keep him. I mean, he's a young rising guard in this league. Like, you don't let premier offensive linemen go. Now, when you have a lot of high-paid contracts like the Chiefs do, you got to pick and choose. Joe Tooney's getting a little older. Maybe they would be willing to let him walk, although his ability to just slide over to left tackle and be good is excuse me, pretty nice to have. But I would guess the Chiefs re-sign him, but that certainly remains to be seen. Shannon Eidson, sign Kareem Hunt. I mean, I think he's done some nice things for the Chiefs, but if you actually look at his numbers, I think he's like 3.8 yards per carry. Like, I don't think he fits that bill of what I was saying earlier, like he's your Thunder to Swift's Lightning. I think for a team like that where he knows the system, they know he can play a role, they can maximize a player like that at this point in his career. That makes sense. I don't think he's hey, we got a new head coach in Chicago and we're looking to jumpstart this running game. Like, oh, let's bring in 30-year-old Kareem Hunt. Like, I don't think that works. Like, he's a guy that you put on a win-now team that can play a role for you. Like, that's kind of how I view that situation. All right, follow us on Twitter at HGramNFL, same handle on Instagram. DMs are wide open if you want to talk some more Bears football. If we didn't get your question answered, we can answer it over there at HGramNFL.